Hello, this is Arnell Tanyag with Tanyag Company. We're a business advising consulting firm. We provide results-driven consulting to help small business owners double their income and grow their business while creating that ideal lifestyle. Today's topic for the month of March 2017 is let's stop guessing how to build a referral business. The purpose of this talk is really help people understand there is a process, a structure to get referrals. The challenging thing about this is there's a how, what, when, and there's a what about building a referral-based business. The difficult part of it is people may not know, or they may not understand, or they may not really know that there's a process, and it's really great. It's a great return on your investment, but you have to work at it. So let me talk about referrals. Why people like referrals? They don't have to be sold. Referrals usually buy. Your sales cycle is cut in half. It's less prospecting. It's the most cost-effective form of marketing because it's word-of-mouth marketing. The cons of referrals, why people don't like it, deals with people. Dealing with people. People sometimes don't like people. Number two, it's not always a turnkey process. And secondly, people don't know if it can be repeatable. But through my experience over the last 6 months, it is repeatable. It is working with people, and it has its ups and downs, but it's very rewarding if you like to give. And it can be a turnkey process. So what I want to talk about today is the 7 ways to stop guessing and how to build a referral business. Number 1, just do it or get the hell out. Either all in or not in at all. And the reason I say this is because I see a lot of people want referrals, but they are not serious about doing referrals. It's not part of their marketing business development plan. It's haphazard. And I find this out because in the last 3 or 4 months, I've been asking people, well, you like referrals? Yeah. What do you like about it? Well, I just like receiving them. So what do you mean? Just receive them. Do you give referrals? Do you study how to give, how to give back? Do you say thank you? Oh, no, I just like receiving because I know they're great, they're easy, and I don't have to work at it. Okay, well, do you do anything else? No. So I was like, man, that's like more of a taker. You want to you receive, but you don't want to give. Number 2 is somebody in the middle. They love referrals. It works well. Sometimes it doesn't work as well as all. When it works great, I just don't know how to do it, and sometimes it's a lot of work. So they're wishy-washy in the middle, lukewarm. But they will say that if it worked and they could figure it out, they do really well. Number 3 is referral is my strategy in my marketing plan, my business plan. I invest into learning how to give referrals. I take classes. I read books. Also, I have goals in giving and receiving. That's someone who's really serious about making referrals as part of their way to generate new business. Number 2 is you set up goals based on your referrals that you give and then you receive. If you say you need 30 referrals, you better say you're giving 60. You always need to give more than what you receive. Like, for example, Tanyag Company's goal for 2017 is to give out 25 or more referrals per month and receive 13 and more referrals per month. So I'm giving out 25 or more, and I want to receive, 13 or more. So because there's a saying, whatever you sow, you reap. If you're giving more, you're going to receive more. If you ask for 3 referrals a month, but you're only giving 1, those numbers don't make right. So, and since I set the goal and I actually said 25, I've been giving on average about 5 or 6 referrals a week. Like last week, I gave a movie company a couple because his target market was property management. I gave him a property management group, somebody who does property management, and it went really, really well. It was pretty exciting. He was really excited about that. I introduced, what was the other one? Oh, I made an introduction recently to, I was telling one of my clients I want to introduce somebody who's in the right target market. Then I had somebody who needed a CPA, so I introduced that person to that. When you have that giving mindset that I have goals I'm going to give, and you're really working at the process, they happen, and then you have a process that receive, it does work. Number 3, referrals start with a service or product that people talk about the product because of not only the value that they receive, but it's not normal. And then secondly, it's because of what the product or service is, what it stands for. But really, what the most important thing is what its value. It is not only people hear it, tell it, but they experience it. Like Zappos, the shoe company that Amazon bought out for like $1 billion, they have invested in what they call customer service experiences. And customer service experiences is they had this one story where they had a customer who was had problems returning his shoe, and he was telling he's hungry. And he was very, after they called, he ordered pizza. The guy said, "Okay, what kind of pizza you have?" This, that, and he just ordered him a pizza. It was amazing. The guy and that customer was just blown away. And they talked about, how they had customer service. And they have another company called Coconut Bliss. He'll built their whole business by having taste parties where people can actually taste their product. And from there, they actually got stores that had people, those customers requested stores to place the product. There's a sushi place called Yama Sushi in Chesapeake, and I was taking a friend of mine out, and he said, "Yeah, this is the best sushi place." I said, "Well, why is it really good?" He goes, "Food's really good. The food's really good. The atmosphere really good. The people are really good." But what amazed me, they say one of our values is when you order from us, doesn't matter lunch or dinner, we give you a free plate. So what? A free plate of what? Free plate of sushi. So we're like, free plate of sushi. I was like, oh no, this is my sushi place. Not only had great sushi, great food, great atmosphere, their value is they gave another plate of sushi. So what you have to really do is you have to figure out what value that you bring that separates you from the service, because service is a commodity. Everybody provides a good service. Price, you don't want to sell that, but what value? And value is usually what is you're giving above and beyond that most people don't give. Like in my business, I do 2 workshops a year. 2 workshops a month. One for realtor and affiliates, one for business owners. People come get some great information. They listen to it and they apply it and they get inspired, motivated, and they do a couple of things. I have a generosity network of people who I generously help. They help me. When they give me referrals, good referrals, or introduce me people, I invite them to a vodka tasting with catering as a thank you. If people ask me a question, this and that, and I post stuff, I share information, and so it's the value. So it's amazing because value is not told, it is shown. So you have to think of what value I want to bring. And it's interesting. People buy people because not only the belief that they share with you, that's the cause, belief, or movement, or the value that you tell them and you show them. If you can do both simultaneously, people are attracted to you because of the same beliefs, core values, but then secondly, they experience a value that they've never experienced before. And that's amazing. Number 4 is develop a plan to show appreciation and generosity for people who give you referrals. I was in a networking group, and I've been involved in this networking for 20 years. I just recently dropped out. It's because it was frustrating for me, because I'd be giving referrals, introductions, and I'd follow up with people, and they would say, "Oh, thank you. No thank you card, no thank you this." And I was like, man, I don't understand it. Am I doing something wrong? And I'm in this coaching program with Mike Ramirez. I said, no, people need to appreciate the effort you put into it. And I looked at it. I was spending about 3 hours going to the meeting, leaving the meeting, about an hour at most, hour and a half at most, giving referrals and bring guests. I mean, I was doing all this, but I just don't think they really understand the value or show appreciation. And the value of showing, they just didn't understand the value I was bringing, but then they didn't show appreciation. So I said, look, I'm going to get out. I'm going to literally just get out of the business, get out of the group, and then get out of that referral marketing business and develop my own network. So you want to create a plan. Like, for example, a plan could be every referral given, a thank you note. A referral that turns a business, a special gift like a $5 to $25 gift card or gift certificate to the favorite restaurant or donation. A consistent referrals that turn a business, it may be a free hosted dinner, wine tasting, a wine tasting cooking class that you invite them. I mean, you want to reward people. Here's the thing about showing appreciation and showing generosity. And the other thing is you want to reward them for positive results or positive behavior. I always tell people there's no reason to do client appreciation events if they're just doing business with you. What you want to do client appreciation events that there's a way you can generate referrals from that. Or you can basically just do events for clients who give you referrals and introductions. So, you just have to look at it. What's the best way that works for you and produce results. But I think you have to have a consistent flow of appreciation and generosity for people to give you referrals. Because really, people base referrals on four things, for criteria I've seen. One, you have great character. You care. And great character basically means, are you going to do what you're going to say you do? And especially when you make mistakes, are you going to apologize? Are you going to say sorry? I mean, you have great character. Number two, are you competent in what you're doing? And here's the thing is, are you growing in your knowledge, expertise? Do you know your business really well? Like, I work in the real estate market. I'm not a real estate agent, but I mean, I subscribe in the news. I read articles. I attend at least 1 or 2 webinars a month on business development, and I have clients as agents. I'm studying that stuff. I mean, I know enough to ask the questions, but I also don't know enough to be a technical expert. I just know enough to help them generate the business, get the business set up, and then I work with them when we make the decision. That's why I'm an advisor consultant. I'm not always a coach, but I use coaching. The other thing you want to do, are you actually good at communicating? And communicating meaning asking for referrals, introductions. So one of the things I recommend my clients is don't use the word referral, ask to be introduced. And going back to, are you have great character? Are you a giver? There's a reciprocity style in business, and that's what the biggest challenge is are you a giver, match, or taker? And are you a giver? Most people who do well in referrals love to give. They have a personal satisfaction in giving, and they get excited about that. And the last criteria I wanted to add is, do you care? Do you know the person more than the title, his name, and his business? Do you know he has kids? Do you know he has dogs? Do you know what his passion is? Like, there's a forum called the Raven Fan Forum. It asks all those questions, get to know them a little better, and it helps me. So when I meet with people, I normally, not always, and I always forget because I get so busy, as I review it, study it, and I really start learning the person. Now, I remember I was reading an article. It says when you get married or dating, you're always learning how to love the person you know. Because when you may met them 10 years ago, you're constantly studying up on how to love them, get to know them. Because life changes, but you never give up on learning how to love them. And the same thing in developing a referral-based business, you never stop learning how to care about them. Number 5, to receive referrals on an ongoing basis, you must determine how you want to develop your plan. So there's a form called the Communication Pyramid, written by Mike Mayer. It calls the 7 levels of communication. There's an informing, and there's an informing zone, information zone, influential zone, and then there's called power nodes. So what you have to determine when you're giving your referrals, they're either you're informing people or you're influencing them. So the challenge when people inform, they just do newsletters, they do top of mind, they do birthday cards. They just tell people they're out there. So what you're doing, you tell people out there, you're hoping they'll refer you because they're out in conversation, they see a card, they go, oh, I remember my friend said they needed a referral of a realtor, I'll call you. So you're just informing them. So you're hoping that they drop into a referral for you. Well, that does work, but it works slowly. But doesn't mean you give it up. The other part is what I call influencing people, is looking at your network and see if they give you the qualified professional. Are they loyal to you? And you meet with them and you ask them how I can help them. In turn, they'll ask you how you help you. And the trade-off or the exchange of currency is, I'm going to help you with your personal business by asking you what is your biggest challenge. And in turn, you're going to ask me, well, you're going to ask me, how can I help you? Or do you have any questions for me? And most people want to help you, they just don't know how. So you have to be able to teach them the how, the who, and the what. And the interesting thing, and I've been doing this for the last 3 or 4 weeks, really focusing on that. And I asked them, what's your biggest challenge? What can I do to help you? Okay, and then I asked them, do you have any questions for me? They said, well, what do you need? And I said, can you do this for me? And it's great. Because at the end of the day, the most important part of this process is this, is you have to create a plan. Am I going to inform 2,000 or 3,000 people? I'm going to influence up to 150, and how does that look like? So I think you have to do both, because the difference is you can market to a big group, and you'll most likely get some referrals, but you want to go deep with a small group of people who can refer you consistent referrals, meaning that, let me give this, imagine this, wouldn't it be great to have 10 relationships that send you 2 to 3 referrals a week, or 2 or 3 referrals a month, or at least 1 relationship, or 5 relationships that send you 1 referral a month? Well, 5 relationships, that's 5 relationships. That's 60. That's 12 referrals. That's 60 referrals in a year. But say you double that, 120. So ideally, like Mike Mayer said, he'd average 500 referrals a year. 500 referrals a year. Amazing. Because he was influencing people while informing them. So he came up with this process, and so I was doing the same thing for many years, but I never had anybody explained it, and he explained it that way. It was amazing, because at the end of the day, I will inform a bunch of people on my database, but I will influence the ones who are willing to help me, and they're willing to do it, and they know that I want to help them, and it's my role to teach them. Number 6 is you want to segment your database. I recommend people to segment database. I recommend them to segment the database to people who give you referrals that result to business, people who are giving you referrals but haven't result to business, and the third one is people who could give you referrals. Those are people of influence, people of successfulness in the community or personally. Because the people who already give you referrals and results of business, they're great people to know, because at the end of the day, they know how to do it. Now you just have to figure out a process, help them more, and teach them. Number 2, if you have these people who give you referrals but haven't, you just have to go back and teach them how to do it. And number 3 is you really have to identify some key people that can. So like you identify people in your target market you want to be in that are influential, that's successful, and literally, and I usually say they're willing to give. And so what happens is that when you look at those segments, you're able to develop a strategy. Because here's the thing, you heard the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. If you look at your database, and this rule is universal, there are probably 20% of your database that gives you the most referrals. Now, if you can take that 20% and spend all your time with them, your referrals probably will double. So you want to start looking at who are the people who give me referrals. And the last one, number 7, is you want to read books, attend workshops, seminars, and find a resource or partner that really helps you understand executive referrals. So like, for example, there's 7 Levels of Communication by Mike Mayer. There's Why Things Catch On by Hohan Berger. Word of Marketing by Adam Srnovich. Give and Take by Adam Grant. Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Utility, Why Smart Marketing is about helping people out, not hype. Made to Stick, Why Some Ideas Survive and Others Die. Positioning, The Battle for Your Mind. And the other one is Beyond the Buzz. Because here's the amazing thing about referrals, and I'll leave you this. Referrals is a result of what I call word of mouth. If you have great word of mouth, people talk about you, and when they talk about you, someone in that audience there may have a need, or somebody may introduce you before the need happens. The thing is, referral is the outcome, but word of mouth is the spark. So what you want to do is build a word of mouth business so people can talk about you, so referrals can happen organically. And during that organic process, you can actually tailor it. Because to build a referral-based business, you want good word of mouth, but you also want people to introduce you and refer you. And in the Mike Mayer's program, the Catalyst program, it's amazing. He shows you actually how to do it. And it just blew my mind away, because I've been doing fragments of that, but I've never had anybody put it together. So again, those 7 ways, just do it, be all, set your goals and objectives of giving and receiving. Referrals start with a product or service that basically creates word of mouth that people can talk about. Develop a plan to show appreciation and generosity for people to give you referrals. Number 5, to receive referrals, come up with a plan between informing and influencing. Again, also know the 4 criteria of people give you referrals. Do you care? Can you communicate well? Are you competent? You have great character. When you are building this plan, look at the 7 levels of communication. And 6, segment your business, your database. And then 7, read books, 10 seminars. If you apply any of those 7 ways, and what you're going to happen when you read this, listen to this podcast, this video, what you can do, you can just put in the comments, hey, I'd like to request the notes. I will send you a copy of notes. You should receive this link. You can watch this video. You have the notes. You'll have basically some PDFs and files to read. and it's amazing because at the end of the day, we don't. I want people to stop guessing, and I want people to start getting great results from referrals because at the end of the day, referrals are great. Doesn't matter. Even now with all social media, referrals are still prominent because people do business with people they've been referred to. And what's unique about it now, there's online social proof and there's offline social proof. So there's, and I put it this way, there's word of mouth online and there's word of mouth offline. What I'm talking about today is word of mouth offline. And that's what you want to do. When you got great word of mouth offline and people talk about you and they have in their mind a need, they're most likely will use you. And if they've been referred or introduced before the need becomes urgent, then you're going to be ahead of the game. So I hope this is helpful. Again, this is Arnell Tanyag with Tanyag Company. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, put comments in there. But again, thanks for listening. And again, this month is this. Let's stop guessing and giving referrals. Thanks again, and thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and look forward to provide ongoing value from here.